Hey guys, welcome back to your Not So Daily exposing our classmates. So after that chat, nobody was speaking much in the group chat. Stuart kept making inappropriate jokes, so we left the group chat. In school, he went up to me saying,
Gregory bought in gifts for you.
"Why did he get some for us if he likes Lucia?"
It's so y'all don't get jealous.
So I told Laura and Moon, and Laura laughed saying,
Ha ha, why'd I be jealous of a tiny fella who's friends with this dude? Look at their side profiles, ha ha.
Yeah, he chopped.
I told them about how he asked to hang out with me sometime and play a few games, and they were like, heck nah. Imagine playing with him and yelling at him across the hallway. And during art and designs class, Laura took a photo of him and posted it saying, "Look at this loser all alone." She was trying to convince me to go up to him and pick on him, and I said, "No, that's your idea, so you can do that." But she chickened out after. After school, we realized Lucia left her phone open. Laura told me that I should show him the photo she took, so I sent it to him through Lucia's phone, and I told him to stop bothering Lucia or we give all his earnings to charity, and he got mad at the photo Laura took, possibly upset, as he told Lucia that I'm a freak who sits alone in his chemistry class. He also said that Laura looks like a boy and overall insulting the appearances of my friend group. Then his last words to me were "well done" before he blocked me. They laughed at it, but I felt a little bit guilty as he's never been rude to me, and he's only really asked me to play with him and for me to see his artwork, and I was a bit too harsh on him just to look cool with my friends. But you know what people say, friends come and go. Gregory got us all chocolates and keychains, which was confusing as Laura literally bullies him.
Hi, I'm Jade, and today I'm going to be exposing one of my classmates and talking about the most chaotic 2-week relationship of my life. So basically, I was in an after-school program, and for some reason, I wanted to get a boy's number. I don't even know why. I guess I was bored or trying to be bold. Anyway, the boy, Ethan, told me my phone got taken away when I asked. I didn't know what to say to that, so I just walked away and went back to my friends. A little later, one of Ethan's friends came up to me and said, "Ethan wants to date you." I was so confused because I didn't even know Ethan at all. My friends were hyping it up and telling me to say yes, so I did. And just like that, I was apparently in a relationship. It lasted 2 weeks, and those 2 weeks were a mess. People kept telling me that Ethan was cheating on me. When I confronted him, he denied everything and acted like I was crazy. After about a week, we started growing distant. He barely talked to me. And then he started spreading rumors about me, saying I was spamming him, even though I wasn't. Random people were telling me I was his side piece, which was wild. At that point, I just realized he was a player and honestly not worth the energy. Later, I found out he started dating someone literally one day after telling me he needed a break. Fast forward a month, he has already dated like 5 or 6 people after me. Then one day during passing period, he actually came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to get back together." I just stared at him and went, "No." He told me to stop looking at him, even though the only reason I looked his way was because I had to laugh at how ridiculous he was, especially since he already had a new girlfriend standing right there. When I told the girls on my softball team about it, they burst out laughing, and honestly, I laughed too. After I said a no to Ethan trying to get back together, I honestly thought that was the end of it. Like, I was ready to delete him from my brain and move on with life. But oh no, apparently the universe had other plans. A week later, I'm at lunch, just minding my business, eating my sandwich, talking to my friends, and suddenly I hear my name across the cafeteria. I look up and see Ethan staring at me like he's inside a movie scene. I prayed he wasn't about to embarrass himself again. He walks over and literally says, "I feel like you still like me." I blinked so hard I almost passed out. I just said, "B, so for real." And instead of walking away, this boy sits down at my table, unindicted. My friends just stared at him like he was a stray cat looking for food. Then he says, "My new girlfriend broke up with me for no reason." I said, "Maybe she saw your roster." My friends choked. After that, he started acting like he was the victim. He told people that I broke his heart and that I was obsessed with him. Meanwhile, I was literally at softball practice living my best life. One day after practice, I was talking to the girls about it again, and we made a whole joke out of it. We called the relationship the 2-week tragedy. One girl said we should make shirts that say, "I survived Ethan," afterwards. I started talking to a new boy from an after-school club. Let's call him Jaden.
I'm Kai. This is about the beef I had with the kid I'll call Mickey. I first met him during my freshman year. We were in a class together, and right away, he was a pain. He said stuff that came off kinda sexist. Like, boys shouldn't cry. He was older than me, by the way, which somehow made it even worse. We ended up sharing another class in the special education room. One day, he was whining about something and blaming it all on his autism. Like, it's not my fault, it's my autism. Over and over again, I finally snapped and yelled something like, I have ADHD and then honestly, I forget the rest, but I remember being fed up. By the end of the year, two big incidents happened. The first one was that we were in the special education room, and Mickey was whining about something again. I decided to just ignore him and went to the bathroom. When I came back, he was literally blocking the doorway. I just stood there like, dude, really? Instead of dealing with him, I went around to the library. Eventually, the teachers handled it, and he never came back to that class again. The second incident was in another class. I was chatting with the teacher about how popcorn chicken and chicken nuggets are basically the same thing. Earlier, Mickey had insisted popcorn chicken was totally different, and somehow he overheard my conversation and got mad. He started accusing me of calling him stupid, even though I wasn't. As a result, we ended up arguing, and he had to leave the room. For the rest of the school year, he was basically gone. I didn't see him again after that. That was my freshman year. My sophomore year was quieter. The only thing that really happened was me flipping him off because he was being a jerk to me in the hallway. Not my finest moment, but whatever. By junior year, unfortunately, I had to deal with him again. I should mention that Mickey was friends with one of my friends. I'll call him Carter. They were friends because he always wore orange, and partly because he'd joke around doing the OMG, they hurt Kenny thing from South Park. Anyway, during junior year, we ended up in this sort of study hall type class together. One day, Mickey was being absolutely horrible to our teacher. I'll call her Miss Leo. He was talking back, refusing to do work, just starting problems. Everyone else was just sitting there quietly, as they clearly don't want to get included in drama. Miss Leo was honestly one of the nicest teachers I'd ever has, but even she looked like she was about 2 seconds from crashing out. Mickey kept interrupting her, complaining about every tiny thing, and acting like she was personally out to ruin his life because she asked him to sit down and do literally anything. Meanwhile, Carter and I were silently looking at each other. Carter wasn't even defending him. He just shrugged at me saying, yeah, he's doing too much today. Eventually, Mickey slammed his notebook shut even though it had been empty the entire time and stormed out of the classroom. Nobody said anything, but of course, Mickey wasn't done. About 10 minutes later, he came back like nothing happened, just walked in, sat down, and started telling Carter about some video game like he hadn't just caused a scene. Miss Leo just stared at him with that look every teacher gives a student who annoys them. That wasn't even the last drama he caused. A few weeks later, he and Carter got into an argument about a group project. We had to bring a poster board. Mickey started shouting that it wasn't his job, and that everyone always expects so much from him. Carter wasn't having it. He replied, bro, it was legit only one poster board. They're only 50 cents. Are you that broke or something? It was the first time I had ever seen Carter actually get mad. And Mickey did not like that. He yelled back, you're supposed to be on my side. And Carter shot back, it's not that deep, calm down. They kept arguing, so Miss Leo had to separate them, and after that day, Carter stopped hanging around Mickey as much. He still talked to him sometimes, but it was more like polite, distant small talk. The rest of us kind of noticed the shift. It was the first time Mickey's actually faced consequences. By that point, I was just counting down the days until the term ended. I didn't want to deal with Mickey anymore. The drama, the complaining. I just hated hearing his jarring voice. By the end of junior year, I was just done.
Hey guys, I'm Stacky and
Hey, My awesome blue stars, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to comment with blue hearts if you've reached this far, and also mention whose story was your favorite. Peace out, my awesome blue stars. Bye.